Listening to the voice of Maui, community supported radio, 88.5 FM, KAKU.
Maui's free speech station.
Summertime.
KAKU 88.5 FM, Kahalui Maui, the voice of Maui.
Namaste, party people in the place to be. Eman'on Wanderer here, the host of Pure Awareness, a show where I talk about masculinity, mental health from a holistic perspective. My guests are local and global pioneers in their communities. So make sure you tune in Thursdays at 11 a.m. and don't forget to catch the replay on Saturday at 7 a.m. only on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Yay! Namaste, party people in the place to be. Eman'on Wanderer here. It's 11 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time. You know what that means. It's Pure Awareness. You're listening to Pure Awareness, 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Just gonna get something, just gonna get the container going here, man. And I'm excited to share with you guys today of some new downloads and new, I guess, practices I'm applying to my life, dealing with forgiveness. So I'm just take a moment and listen to this song, and then I'll come back. I'm in the mood, guys. I'm in the mood. Thanks for tuning in. 88.5, the voice of Maui. Yee.
We return to love, leave behind the fears that stops your wings unfolding. We return to love, surrender to the river that carries you home. We return to love. 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 We return. May the light in thine eyes guide you on your way, a path of strength and faith. You are a star that never fades. And may the light in thy heart forever grace my words, my breath, these songs, this earth. Sing a new star into birth. May peace be with you. Let peace be with you. May peace be with you.
Susie Rowe. Yeah, man. It's the vibe I'm on right now, man. Returning to love. It's an interesting power move. Returning. returning to anything. I mean, it just happens to be talking about love in this sense, but I just feel like anytime a person or myself can choose to return or not to return, I think that's a power move. I think that's an awareness of the control that you have over your life and how you can choose your own reality, how you can absolutely just dictate what the course of your life is going to take, simply by diving in, leaning into your heart, going within, and just really exploring and seeing what's there, what's exciting there, or what's keeping the excitement from shining within you. Like, I just feel like I'm not saying I figured it out. I'm saying I figured me out. And me is a constant it's just a constant redesigning, a constant evolving, adjusting design. And yeah, that's what lights me up. That's what feels right. So I had an interesting morning in saying that, because I had kind of stepped away from the things that really, really light me up, inspire me, motivate me. Stepped away from that stuff for a while because I felt like I wasn't gaining any ground fulfilling my highest desire, which was true connection with others. And so in trying to do that and trying to really fulfill my heart's desire of connection, I did two things. And I'm only aware of these two things now. So any awakening, I'm like, yeah, man, it's a mulligan. You know what I mean? I get a freebie. I didn't know. So now that I know, I can grow. And so the two things that I realized in this coming to being where I'm at now is that in all the love I was given, I was also taking away that from myself. So I had kind of like, I don't know if it's that I forgot to just care for myself and have self-love and just treat myself with as much or more consideration that I did for others. And I was like, I don't know. I just never thought that was even a thing. And when I looked around my life and saw, well, everyone else isn't doing that either. The only people I see taking care of themselves are those who are performing on the TV, movies. I saw that stuff in movies. I saw healthy conversations and relationships in movies. I saw how to really take care of yourself and love yourself and practice mental health and have a strong spiritual life. I was like, yeah, man, that's all in the movie. So in my little 4, 5, 6-year-old brain, I'm like, if I'm seeing it there, then I should be able to see it everywhere. And I was just a believer in love. I was just a believer in, dreams coming true and connection, because that's what felt right. And so I always felt like, since what was modeled for me was to give and to show others love and respect and tenderness and kindness and patience and all those beautiful, beatitudes, what they say in the Bible. Jesus talks about the beatitudes. And so it's like I had all of that going for me, like dishing it out like freaking Christmas every day. Big old hacky sack full of gifts of patience, potions of positivity, and dinner dishes of I don't know. I'm trying to think of a nice word. Anyway, but you know what I'm saying? It was like I was always giving, and it was like it felt great, only because I thought at some point I'll be given to as well. So I'm not trying to get on a whole gravy train of like, woe is me, but I'm giving you context as to why, the space I'm in right now and why forgiveness showed up so strong for me this morning, and me having this download of like now meeting others on the other side. And let me tell you what that means. I'm gonna just stay in this flow. I hope y'all don't mind. The schedule and the agenda is adjusting, always constantly evolving. So I showed up, man. That's my only intention. You know what I mean? That's my commitment to myself and to my audience, to my purpose, is to show up every day, every moment, every time it's time to show up and do the thing, whatever the thing is in my life. All I have to do is show up and then, trust that the guides that got me there will provide. Yeah. I used to always say, God will never give you a vision without giving you provision. So therefore, it will be provided. Anyway, I have decided that love and acceptance and forgiveness, all those juicy things, those are important to me. Like, it's 11:11, so this was the time I was going to start talking. I was going to play music up until 11:11, but now it's 11:11, so I've been talking and playing music at the same time. So guess what? It is what the T.I. tis. So just meeting people on the other side of a moment. So for example, me, I'm a very, very highly sensitive being. So I had to learn that sometimes when I'm feeling things, they're not necessarily all the time connected to me and associated with experiences in my life. Sometimes and oftentimes I'm actually picking up and channeling and experiencing the moment with the other person that I'm in. So in those moments, if I feel fear and I look at my surroundings and the individual and there's nothing to fear, like most of you know my beloved, yes, he 5 foot nothing and 100 and nothing. And it's like, but there's these moments when we have these conversations that I'm feeling fear. Like, what is that about? Well, what I come to understand and learn is that it's fear within her in this moment. Therefore, I'm so connected because my heart is open to her. I also take on that fear, that emotion, that energy. And, and if you guys think this is too woo-woo, well, guess what? I'm a certified mental health advocate and counselor and professional. And the data shows that this is called countertransference or transference when it comes to mental health and counseling. So if I'm a counselor and I'm working with someone and they're in an highly emotional state, and now I find myself in a highly emotional state during or after the session, that's the same. That's called transference. That energy was able to now be transferred into my space, in my sphere. And so all I'm saying is, like, that's just a confirmation for those of you who are empaths and highly sensitive, and just kind of pick up these like feelings and impressions. Yeah, don't doubt yourself. You good. So I had to learn that, man. Sometimes sometimes it's not me, and so instead of engaging in the moment and getting emotional myself, because I ain't punk B. You know what I'm saying? Talking to me like that. You know where I'm from? Who I tis? So I'm like, man, I can't let this slide. So then I get in my human space and I'm like, yeah, Duke's up too. I can do that too. And I could do it more gooder than you because I'm me. So that's how that whole, and at least in my experiences, that's how, arguments and just dissatisfaction happens, and how harmony and love can't be present in those moments because both parties are looking to defend or looking to just return to loving themselves in their own way, whatever, right? So so in that moment, it's like this is where we are. This is where we are. We have to deal with this, and it's tit for tat, push back, blah blah blah, and so I'm like, I started to find myself in those moments that I already know I'm not so upset right now that I'm just gonna end it all and just cancel this relationship and just not go back. Like, it ain't that bad. I mean, it's just like I want my way right now. And so here's the key. This is important. I want you guys to really get this, because this will be so helpful in your relationships, in your life, in your career, and dealing with yourself. It's grace. It's taking that moment and hearing and sensing and seeing that the awareness is present. So I found myself being aware of this in this moment, in this heated exchange. I somehow find myself removed and observing and seeing that, hey, this ain't that bad. All I need to do is just wait for this person to express and emote, and even though the things they're saying may or may not be true, I understand that in this moment, I'm seeing their experience. I'm sensing this energy. So therefore, I'm the one who has the awareness of it, and I'm the one responsible for meeting the person on the other side, meeting myself on the other side, actually seeing myself as the best version of myself on the other side, because the best version, higher version of myself don't do the tit for tat and arguing and like we ain't got a brawl, not at all. You know what I mean? Like, I already know that's not what I want. Can do, but no want. I mean, like, it doesn't make sense. So it's like, it's almost like I could sidestep. This is why I love Tai Chi. When I started taking Tai Chi, it's like, man, I ain't got to whoop no, you know what I mean? I ain't got to really be the biggest, baddest guy to knock you down. All I really got to do is let you knock yourself down by utilizing that force that you're coming at me. So that's why Tai Chi works. It's just, it's offense and defense in a graceful way. So I find myself just saying, okay, since I'm noticing, I'm aware of this moment and this energy, and it just doesn't light me up. It's not harmonious and loving and doesn't feel good. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go on the other side of this. I'm going to go on the other side. And on the other side of this moment is the version of myself and the version of that other person sitting there having a chuckle or two. Maybe about the moment previous, or maybe about something else, but on the other side of this really heightened, intense moment is the better versions of ourselves. So therefore, I just step over there and hang out until my buddy comes over here. Because at the end of the day, I already know I'm in connection with you because I love you. So that means non-conditional. That means hold on, I think I'm getting a phone call, but I'm not sure. Hey, is this a phone call? I mean, I know it's a phone call, but listen, if you call in, let me finish my story real quick. I already know. So on the other side of this, it's funny because normally we're all like, man, we never get phone calls, or we miss the phone calls and stuff, and we never get to answer it and blah, blah. Anyway, I don't know what happened. So I'm hanging out on the other side because I know that the love I have is non-conditional, meaning not unconditional, it's non-conditional. Unconditional is under certain conditions. I love you under these conditions, but you step outside these conditions, I don't love you anymore. That's unconditional to me, semantics. So I like to say non-conditional love. And so with my approach and of non-conditional love, what I then do is I open myself up to just allowing the person to just fully express. I get to be that extra. I get to go that extra mile, that I would want someone to do for me. I get to model that. I get to experience that. I get to see what that feels like, so that when it's returned to me, right? There's that word again, return, because that's powerful. Coming back to it. So when that love is returned to me, that same grace is returned to me, that same forgiveness is returned to me, I'll then know how to accept it, and I'll then know how to, I want to say appreciate, but also just, be thankful or thank the other person for it. Because it's not an easy feat. Okay, I'm lying. Let me keep it real with y'all. It is so easy, a caveman can do it. My bad to the caveman. But it's really easy. Y'all made it, because you guys are cavemen, you guys are geniuses. So, I mean, it's so easy that a genius, won't even stumble over it. So, shout out to the caveman. Anyway, this process is so easy, a caveman can do it, anyone can do it. This, this process of this forgiveness thing, this, like what I'm talking about, this just meeting people on the other side, this just avoiding cutting out the middleman of all the human emotions that come with just being a human. Please listen to what I'm saying. I'm not discounting being a human. I'm saying we can cut out the middleman for right now. Because right now, this don't feel connection. This don't feel loving. So can we stop for right now and get back right quickly? Shout out Yessie, teaching me that. Let's get back to right quickly. Let's not waste time. Like, okay, I get that you're having a moment right now, and you obviously are sensing my, reaction to that moment. So let's get back to right quickly, meaning let's address this. Let's say, hey, this is what's happening. I'm mad. Yes. I'm mad. Yes. Do we want to stay mad? No. Okay. So right now, let's just practice and model being on the other side of this for a few minutes, just so we can get a taste of like what that feels like, of what it's gonna feel like afterwards. Like, I remember when I was coaching, is that I would teach my players to visualize. Like, don't try to win the game. Visualize us already winning. Just visualize us winning. That means visualize all the moments that lead to winning the game. Visualize yourself making that catch or that tackle or that, whatever. Visualize yourself doing that highlighted thing, and then visualize the after party, right? Because you always know, it was an after party. But visualize yourself at the after party, like all the highlights. So visualize the experience of winning, and then go out there and do your best. And that way you're not focused on like the interim of like frustrations and, he's bigger than me, they're better. It's like, we already know that. We already know the differences. We already know, all that. But in the interim, in the process, in the journey of the game, I'm lit up. You're happy on the inside because you know what it feels like to celebrate, to win. The feeling of winning. So in those moments, or those intense moments, it's like, let's pause for a second. Let's visualize a win. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to make sure you ain't gonna bounce on me because I got abandonment issues. So, I just want to get confirmation you're still gonna be here, and then that other person can say yes, of course, and then they can share their fear with me in that moment, and I can say yes, of course, I'm here to support. All right. So now that we're on the other side of the intense moment, and we've negotiated that we still here, and we'll support each other. Let's return. Returning now, because it's a choice. That's the whole point. The power is knowing the choice. Like, choosing is powerful. That's how powerful you are. You get to choose. So since we chose to meet each other on the other side, just to get clarity, just to make sure, everything's pono and we still gonna be in love, because we're good humans and we love life together. It's just fun. Whatever. It ain't that deep. It's just fun. What we have lights me up. So now that we both know that, let's return, because we're super powerful, creative, highly sensitive beings that can dominate and create our own reality. So we have the absolute cojones to return back to the mess, right? Y'all see where I'm going with this? It's like you can set yourself up for victory. You know, it's the same system. You apply it to, like, oh man, the holidays, I gotta go be with family. You know, woo 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 and woo woo woo. It's like, yeah, that's been the data. That's been the history. That's been the pattern. Get it. Got it. That's, you know. So now you get to look at yourself and say, okay, well, if it's always that way, what am I always doing? Because if it's always that way, that means the system, the pattern, it's like full. It hasn't been adjusted. It hasn't been upgraded. Ooh, there it is. That feels nice. What's the last time you upgraded yourself? My effa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When's the last time you upgraded yourself, Eman'on? A few minutes ago. Anyway, let's listen to the song and then I'll be right back. You're listening to Pure Awareness. I'm your host, Eman'on Wanderer, 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
But let go. Let's rest here, where the future and the past disappear. Here, in the sanctity of now. Nothing to prove, nothing to own, no one to be, nowhere to move, already home, already free. Let's just stay in the cave of the heart today and bask in this ever-present love. Nothing to fix, nothing to change, nothing to fight. Only what is. And what if what is just right? Why not trust this mystery living us and rest in the refuge of the self? Nothing to judge, no one to blame or fear. Only my face greeting me in the mirror. Nowhere to turn, nowhere to hide. Nobody else. Nobody else. Nothing outside. Nothing outside. That isn't inside myself. Let's just see. Is anyone here but me? Here in the present moment now. to know, nothing to do, no one to be, nowhere to go, already home, already free.
Love that song.
Nowhere to go, already home, already free.
Nowhere to go. Already home.
Already free.
Oh shoot. The mic was on. The mic was on the whole time. Y'all didn't tell me? Why nobody didn't call me and tell me the mic was on? I was sitting there thinking I'm in the shower, thinking, when you're by yourself. Anyway, whatever. I can sing, I can't sing. I can carry a tune, a note, so I'm confident in that. It's messed up, y'all didn't tell me though. Anyway, what was we talking about? Hold on. I gotta adjust myself again. All right. I want to go back to talking about, just real quick, going back to talking about meeting others on the other side, man, on the other side of this experience, that feels, I'll go as far as saying, like, it feels like death. It feels like dying for me when I'm having an experience with someone that's like an argument where emotions are just like heightened. It really freaks me out, and I don't like it, and it scares me, and I know why now. Some people call it like savior syndrome, where you feel like you have to just always, you're responsible for the ills and L's in the world. That's just my version of explaining it. But yeah, it's this thing about just like, man, if things aren't right, it's my fault. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where I got that, where I was groomed to believe that. I mean, I have some ideas as to like where, because growing up, and I'm not blaming this on religion, but growing up religious in that faith, it was all about others and serving others, and just, there was never any talk about self-love and taking care of yourself. It was just like taking care of yourself meant everyone else being happy as a result of your behavior and your actions. So that's what living was for me, right? So with that being said, like, I carry this mom guilt-ish type of energy where if someone's unhappy, it's my fault. If something bad happens on my watch, it's my fault. So just imagine what that feels like to an adolescent child between the ages of 7 and 12, where that was really, really embedded and conditioned in my psyche that, bro, if some ish go down and something bad happens on your watch, that's your ass. You know what I mean? That's my fault. So yeah, man. I got learned it quick, early. Carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, bro. Like, not playing. You represent this. That started early, around 11, 12, whatever, however age we are in the, what is that, 7th grade? So, and real quick story, I've shared this a lot on the show already, but just at that age, at that time, my homeboy, good buddy of mine, neighborhood buddy of mine, and gangbanger, and just living in that environment and just being his best friend, and just we being best friends, and his brother being the OG in that community. One day, us just being kids, talking about, I don't know who went in the fight, Batman or Spider-Man, I don't know, something silly. And we just walking through our neighborhood, man. And, his brother pulls up with a group of guys in there, and it's like, it's action time. It's like, where I'm from, you don't ask questions. It's just, you already know what it is. You already know. So it's like, they pull up. He's getting in. Everyone's adjusting to try to make room for us. And I'm just anticipating getting in, too, and his brother gives me that look of like, what TF is you doing? And I'm just like, this is all like, it's weird because it was like all non-verbal for a minute. Seems like forever. You know how like somebody's just staring at you and you're just in that moment, and it's scary, and it's like, what's about to happen? But that's what was happening. So he's looking at me and he's just like, man, I'm just feeling his energy. Like, you better not get in this car, bro. I was like, I'm thinking it's a test, so I got to get in the car, obviously. They make room for me. I'm getting in. He gets out, comes over to my side, pulls me to the side. You need to go home. And I'm not going to say all the things he said, but he basically said, hey, man, you need to go home because we need you to go to school and play ball because you're representing us. And so basically it was just more confirmation of that story I was telling myself, that I have to carry the weight of the world. Like, I'm responsible. If some bad stuff go down, I'm responsible. So me trying to get into the car with, other gang members to go, put in work is me saying, yeah, man, I'm supposed to, this is what it is. So with him pulling me out and me feeling like, well, I'm supposed to help people, like, what's happening? So if they go and something bad happens, I'm left with that guilt, Hope this is all making sense. But anyway, so they take off and I'm just, I don't know, years later, come back to the same moment about what I'm sharing now, about just this feeling of like, man, I gotta fix this right now. So in these heated moments when it's between me and a loved one, it's like, yeah, I definitely want to fix this right now because life is pretty short. And like, I wouldn't want this to be the last experience physically that I have with you. So I would much rather just get to the point of like getting back right quickly so we can continue to do life enrichly, I don't even know if that works, but it rhymes. So I want to take the time right now because I don't want to make this a big dramatic woe is me episode, but it kind of turned it into one of those. So whatever, my show. I think. Yeah, man, just in this moment right now, I just want to extend a sincere apology to all of those that I engaged and interacted with over the years, especially like my friend bestie right now on island. We just had a moment where she shared with me, like, she was, stop trying to fix, don't fix it. And it was like, it just broke my heart because I'm like, what do you mean? I'm supposed to. And then it was like, oh, so when I left and that's what came up, it was like, this is why you need to fix. And this is why you feel you have to fix. And it's not even from a place of thinking you're right and wanting to control, but it's that you know the power in returning to love and getting right quickly. This is my higher self talking to me now as I'm driving away, upset. So my higher self is talking to me saying like, look, this is why we do this. This is why you've been practicing, love and self-love for yourself, because you now know you love yourself enough to know that you don't have ill intentions towards anyone. So therefore, what this person is saying is out of emotions, not facts. So the need to fix is coming from you feeling like you are responsible for if something bad happens after this moment and you can't rectify it, then you're not fulfilling your purpose. And so I'm listening to this and I'm like, oh man. Awareness. Now I have awareness. Now I am aware of how I'm feeling right now in this moment. Like, it's not even about the other person. That's why I always say it's not the other person. It's not anything. It's you. It's me. So now I'm aware that the common denominator has been me showing up. Because remember, my desire is connection. And what's required is for me to show up authentically and be brave enough to be vulnerable and open my heart. So I have to model what I desire. That's just my assignment to myself, my story. I'm not saying that's for everybody. But for me, I signed up to model a way of living that is harmonious and tender and kind to self and others. Period. So now that I'm aware again, now that I've returned, my consciousness has returned back to love, because that's what my purpose is centered in, is love. So it's like, okay. And I quickly busted a U-turn. I'm glad. I think I made sure it was safe, but I hit a U-turn real quick and went back and made it Pono. Made sure that my best friend understood that my intentions and my definition of friendship is non-conditional support and holding space and giving time and energy. Those are my resources. That's what friendship is to me. It's like, boom, I'm giving you everything I got, which is my time, which is my energy. And, I'll even add my experiences. So it's like, in return, this is what you're saying yes to. You're saying yes to this guy that's like offering what he has. And in return, I'm saying yes to whatever you have to offer. You can do no wrong in my sight. I just unfortunately have had the experience of having it not be returned so often in my lifetime. And so after many moons of just experiencing how crappy it feels to just extend forgiveness and love towards others, even in the pit of my stomach, I'm just like, oh my God, this just does not feel right. Like, this is wrong. They're wrong. But I have to extend forgiveness because, and so after years of just feeling like I'm obligated to do that, it was armed with, or fused, there it is. It was infused with the blame and the judgment and the emotions I was feeling as a human, right? Because no one wants to feel hurt and pain and embarrassment. So therefore, everyone was defending their honor and not feeling that way. And I just happened to be one of those human beings that was more open and accepting. And, I'm okay with being a rug. I'm okay with being a bridge. I'm okay with being a dumpster. I'm okay with being a bus, meaning some people get on, they ride, have the time of their life with me, and then they get off on the next stop or 20 stops later, whatever. It's like, bro, I already get that. I had been done known that. Yeah, that's some professional higher educational ebonics for y'all. I had been done known that. Super gooder at serving than you are. No, I'm joking. So anyway, it's like I just already knew, this is what I've signed up for. And so I got to this place. I'm fast forwarding now, past the homelessness, past the, rejections, and trying to build some sort of supportive platform for men and mental health and just to help people, right? Fast forwarding from all of that stuff that was happening and all the challenges that came with that, the depression, the homelessness, and getting to this space here where this morning I'm like, yeah, I've been, the last 2 days have been kind of weird for me. So the previous day I was up like almost all night. It was the night of, I don't know if it was the night of that real pretty crescent moon. It was giant. And I'm just up. I, fell asleep early and then just woke up and was up from 11 to like maybe 4. I don't even know. But I was having to confront death. The idea of death. And I felt like I was dying. I felt like I was so afraid in that moment. And I did not understand it. All I knew is that I don't want to close my eyes right now because I might not wake up. I might not you know what I mean? So I was having this real intense moment with death, like the idea of death, like physical death. And so I'm doing my work. I'm sitting with it. I'm actually practicing what I preach, y'all. I'm saying, okay, let me sit with this. I don't know what it is, but it'll be okay. This was prior to the download of meeting others on the other side of the moment. So this was like all the practice and the experience of coming to that wisdom note. So I'm having to sit in this moment of feeling like my life could be over, like at any point, like at any moment right now. It was nighttime. It was pretty. I'm living out country. It's beautiful. Nothing. There's no storm, no winds. It's like a beautiful night, and haiku down. But I'm sitting here intensely afraid of dying. And then I just sat with it, and I just allowed myself to just feel. And I allowed myself to visualize. And you already know how I visualize. I told you how I taught my players to visualize. All the highlights. So I said to myself, you know what? If this is it, then... And then boom, all the highlights of my life started flashing, like all these awesome moments. And then I started seeing all these amazing goals and like future moments. And I'm like, how can that be if I'm getting ready to transition from this plane? How is it that I'm actually having a futuristic experience? How is it that I'm like actually feeling like I'm living this moment in the future, like if I'm supposed to be there? So it's like, this is interesting. And I just kept breathing. Oh, this was so intense. I was breathing, and my breathing I started to get, once I found there was like a little handle on my breathing, like as far as like, okay, everything's okay. It's like boom. Then this thought of like, I don't want to die before my time is up. And in that moment when I admitted that, it's like a release happened. It's like all this emotion came up, like so much, like I'm surprised I didn't wake up the coqui frogs and the damn mosquitoes. Cause man, I was like boo-hooing like boo-hoo the fool. And I don't even know how long that lasted, but it was a few minutes. And so I'm just like purging, man, and just crying about this idea of just like I don't want to pass on before my time. Like I'm finally in a place where everything is right. Like it feels right. Everything feels right. Perfect. And then boom, I'm about to die. What part of the game is that, bro? And so I'm like, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. And then it's like, I just don't want to die before my time. Don't want to die. And then all of a sudden it was like, it turned from I don't want to I will not. And I was like, I will not leave here before my time. I will not leave. I'm not leaving before I boo. And then I just went on my rampage of like, my affirmations and just calling things in, like being my magician archetype that I've mastered over the last couple of years. Learning how to call in what I want and not wait for an experience and not hope for this to happen in my life. Oh, I hope, I wish I can. No, what do I want? What do you want, bro? Okay, that's what you want? All right, check in. Do you check in full heart, mind, everything? Everybody good in alignment with wanting this? Cool. It's done. And then I just go and do life. So I got to that place. I was like, man, yeah, I'm not going out before my time. F that. Started feeling better. I felt great. Lit up. You know what it is. And went to sleep nicely. Here's the thing. Right before I lay down, I like had a glance out the window and got another nice. It was just such a clear image of that crescent moon. Just right there, man. Clear as day. Huge. Seemed like it was like right. Seemed like it was like 30 feet in front of me. So I went to bed like that. Remember that song? I woke up like that. I woke up like this. I went to bed like this. Lit. Literally. And so I wake up. And I'm like, man, that was a wild night. Had an experience, and then this morning I wake up and I'm feeling this heaviness. And I'm feeling this heaviness about that responsibility. That story of that responsibility came up again. Like, you're supposed to make sure everyone's okay and safe. And if it's that nothing bad happens to anyone. It's your responsibility. So that story came up again. And then I'm listening to my astrology reading this morning. Minnow Tarot. Shout out to Minnow Pond Tarot, man. Dude, I've been following this guy for like 7 years. And he's been accurate, like on everything. So yeah. Shout out to Minnow Pond Tarot on YouTube. And so I listened to that reading. I'm like, yep, of course. It's just insanely accurate. And I got 3 minutes left, y'all. Insanely accurate, right? And then the next thing I know, hold on, let me try to get next thing I know, it's there's this like other video of Wayne Dyer that was like underneath it, and it was about, the title was like, there's no validated reason for resentment. In other words, ain't no reason for you to hold on to a maladaptive experience or something that's you know what I mean? Just, there's no reason to argue. Like, don't do it. There's no good reason to stay in that space. And I was like, I listened to it. It was 15 minutes. And I was like, man, that's powerful. And that had me boo-hooing. And then all of a sudden I had this memory. this most recent memory of losing someone. And I felt like I lost this person physically, like transition life, right? They died. And I felt like it was my fault because I was in the awareness. I had the control to prevent it. It was me. It was clear, and I didn't do it. I chose me. I chose what made me happy. And this person did not wake up the next day. And so I carried that guilt all this time and that shame, and I didn't understand it. And it was like so painful. And I realized when Spirit helped me make the connection this morning about like, no, you've just been carrying this story about that it's your responsibility to make sure all good things happen to all people, and that's not your role, bro. I was like, oh yeah, because of free will, you know. And then I got a very clear message from my dear beloved love that passed on, that it was my time to go. It was just, I was ready. She said I was ready. So I was like, man, okay. She's a very, very dear good friend of mine, changed my life. And yeah. So that's the show today, y'all. I love you. Ain't nothing you could do it. Thank y'all for listening to my rant, rave, and ridiculousness. I love you. Ain't nothing you could do about it. Make sure you catch the replay 7 a.m. on Saturday. And download the Maui Streams app and hear Pure Awareness all the time. All right? Love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Yee!
I'll say we're gonna break it down in just a few seconds here. Don't make me break it down.
Mackay and Malka parking lots at the new Kula Ball Field will be temporarily closed from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Wednesday, June 12th, and Thursday, June 13th, for asphalt surfacing repairs. Adjacent facilities at the ball field at Kalasa Road and Kula Highway will remain open and accessible. Roadside parking areas will be available. The ball field parking areas will reopen Friday, June 14th. For more information,